Good evening. So, technical difficulties. The dot. We don't know what we did that it actually fixed it. We've completely switched to a whole nother computer. We uploaded and reinstalled all of the software and hardware that I was using before. No new versions of anything, and it still wouldn't work. Nothing made any difference at all. Then yesterday, while I was gone, we kept on working at it and had my daughter and them, working on it and trying to figure out how to either get it to work, the software to work, or to install OBS and use an OBS, either StreamYard, OBS. And somewhere in between there, it fixed itself. And we have no idea how it fixed itself or what was the actual fix. So here we are. It's a Christmas miracle. It is. I mean, that's about the best way to put it. A Christmas miracle. It's something. Something finally fixed itself, or we were able to do something, and maybe it was like how the programs were stacked and how they ran in the background. We went through everything from checking the bandwidth, the internet connections, and again, all of the software, all of the hardware, everything, reinstalling the cameras, the microphones, all of it. I mean, there isn't anything that we haven't done over the course of the last week and a half trying to fix this simple issue. But it works now. Good evening, Juicy Jules and Gianna Marie, Pippa Dot, Inner Peas. Good evening and welcome. Sal as well. Good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. Sprinkled Donut, good evening as well. I hope that we all had a great weekend. And Barking Pumpkin, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. Like I said, we don't know what we did that actually fixed it, but it's working. I can see the actual comments. Callie Lisa, good evening. I don't know, and everybody who's looked at it, we all are just scratching our heads, going, "What was it? What was the issue? What was causing that it to not work at all?" None of us have any idea. We're like, could have been this program that we reinstalled. Maybe it was corrupted. We don't know. Because we went through each and every single program and every single piece of hardware and software for that hardware to try to see if that's what the issue was. And we couldn't find anything. Nothing made sense at all. But make sure you're all on Top Chat, or yes, live chat, or whichever you may see, and not the other, because that way you see the comments as they actually come through. So, speaking of cooking, I bought everything to make Kitty Koo's. This is her chocolate chunk pecan pie. I bought everything to make this. So I'm going to make this tomorrow. Now, we won't have it until Wednesday, but I'm going to make it tomorrow because I'm making pumpkin pies and stuff tomorrow for Christmas dinner. All right. Well, that's our normal 5-minute wait time for people to get in here, and I want to thank everyone again for being here for trivia tonight. This program documents actual crimes and offenses by criminals. Some of the content covered here may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Question number 1 is now on your screen. What state did Susan Morphew, and yes, I know her name is Suzanne, but throughout the entire thing it's going to say Susan Morphew go missing in? Which state did she go missing in? Was it A, Colorado, B, Utah, C, Florida, D, Alaska, or E, other? Chef Will Finley, yes. Left-handed RN, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Lemon Pie, welcome as well. My pic of you is blurry. I'm blurry? It says that well, on my end, it shows that I'm in 4K. I put myself in my little window yet. Does that look blurry there? Or maybe it's the contrast of the background. I don't know. Well, I'm sorry if it's blurry. What state did Susan Morphew go missing in? And again, I understand her name is Suzanne, but all of the trivia questions that I printed out all say Susan. But I understand her name was Suzanne. Good evening, Amber. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Maybe it was a buffering issue. I don't know. It was so disheartening for it to not work for as long as it did, and then all of a sudden just like be fixed. And that's the part that drives us, all of us, absolutely nuts. Because 5 of us total worked on this entire project to try to figure it out, and none of us can figure out what the heck it was that actually fixed it. So will it ever happen again? We don't know, because we don't know what the heck the issue was, what was causing it. Maybe if you go out and come back in, see if that helps. I don't know. All right, question number 1. What state did Susan Morphew go missing in? The correct answer is A as in apple, Colorado. She went missing in Colorado. Question number 2. On what date was Susan Morphew positively last seen? Was it A, May 1st, 2020, B, May 10th of 2021, C, May 10th of 2020, or D, May 1st of 2019, or E, other? On what date was Susan Morphew positively last seen? Good evening, Cement Shoes. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Tonight's live stream is brought to you in part by Rest in Peace, Liquid Death. Liquid Death. Wish they'd sponsor me. Every communication I've sent them, no one's ever responded. Karen Cato, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Question number 2 of 20. Kwanzaa? On what date did Susan Morphew positively last seen? All right. The answer to question number 2 is C as in cat. May 10th, 2020 was the last day that Susan Morphew was positively last seen. Question number 3. Who reported Susan Morphew missing? Was it A, Barry Morphew, B, their neighbor, C, the pool boy, or D, their daughters, or E, other? Who reported her missing? Shelly Babies, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia, Shelly Babies. Glad you could be here with us tonight. Question number 3 of 20. The Finn, good evening, The Finn. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Glad you could be here with us tonight. I thought we were getting rid of E. Cement shoes. E is never an option as the correct answer. Where I would, we did those 2 trivia nights where E was an option as a possible answer, like the answer was not on the screen. We have E as an other, as in somebody can you put down your own comical answer or whatever you want. But E is never an option as the correct answer. So the correct answer will always be on the screen. I'm just not using it as E because in all of the options on the screen are incorrect. But for question number 3, who reported Suzanne or Susan Morphew missing? The correct answer is B as in boy, the neighbor. The neighbors are the ones that called 911 and reported her missing. As the story goes, that how Barry Morphew tells it is he hadn't been able to get a hold of her, and he asked the neighbors to go over and check on her. And then when they couldn't find her and they didn't see her, any signs on outside, they are the ones that called 911 and reported her missing and got the law enforcement to come to the home. B as in boy, the neighbors. Did you know is next. All right, this is really small print because there's a lot of it here. So hold on just a second while I read this entire thing. The evidence cited that Barry's arrest included GPS data from his truck and cell phone. If this data is accurate, it raises the question about the state's case. Susan's remains were discovered in Moffett, yet neither Barry's truck nor his cell phone was recorded within 60 miles of the location where her remains were later found. While it's conceivable he used another vehicle and turned off his phone, this theory seems inconsistent. Why would he leave his phone on during other incriminating actions, yet turn it off for this critical event? Additionally, the 2 missing hours of GPS data from his truck don't provide a plausible opportunity for him to reach Moffett and return. For him to accomplish this, he would need to travel over 80 miles an hour on dirt and gravel roads without being seen. This unlikely scenario, notably these missing hours, pertains solely to the truck's GPS data, not his cell phone. This discrepancy further complicates the timeline and raises doubt about his involvement in the disposal of Suzanne's remains at the location in Moffat. Again, his his cell phone and the truck data that they said that they could prove where he was on his cell phone going around the house. They said that he was most likely chasing her down with a tranquilizer, dart, and that's why his data was moving. His cell phone was showing moving all over the outside of in the backyard. And then they tried to say use the data from the actual pickup truck and say this is where he went and this is where he went, like, all over the place, using the multiple dumpsters, to get rid of things. He says he's cheap and didn't want to pay to go to the landfill or have these things thrown away, so he used multiple dumpsters. Is why he did what he was doing. But his truck data never shows that he was in the Moffat area at all. The closest he got was 60 miles from the actual location where her remains were positively found later on. How did he get there? It's a giant question that they've never answered, because, well, we know that they threw out the actual the charges. They dismissed them with prejudice, meaning that they can, in the future, if they have the ability to, and enough evidence comes forward, they can charge Barry with the homicide again later on. So they weren't dismissed, without prejudice. So they can charge him again. I believe he's guilty too, Sal. But I mean, there's a lot of things that in the case that just don't make sense. And besides them not dropping that charge against him, there are other charges that they definitely should have pursued when it came to Barry. For some odd reason, they've never ever pursued at all. But question number 4 of 20. What occasion was being celebrated on the day Susan Morphew went missing? Was it A, Susan's birthday, B, Mother's Day, C, Barry's birthday, D, birth of Karen Reed, or E, other? Right? That's a good point, Finn. That'd be terrifying as hell. You're being chased down by somebody who's trying to kill you. And by the time they found Susan's remains, they were too degraded to ever, be able to make any conclusive determination of how, if was she actually ever shot with a tranquilizer dart. I mean, because I really do not believe Barry's story that he was out. He decided to come home and was out in the backyard hunting, chipmunks. If he was hunting chipmunks, where the hell are the chipmunks? The dead chipmunks? He never was able to show, look, here's the 10 dead chipmunks I killed, or one chipmunk, or any dead chipmunks. I came from California. Daughter is through Sandra Salita, Colorado, right after his case. No flies at the dollar store, MCDs. Daughters not care. Why do the daughters not care? I don't. I think they believe that Barry didn't do it. They've always stuck by his side. That's weird. Oh, forgot to put myself back in my little window. Hello. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. If you enjoy this content and the trivia night and when the work that I've done, give it a thumbs up. If you do not, give it a thumbs down then. And I would hope that you would take the time to leave a comment afterwards and tell me what I can do to help improve it. And good evening, Purple. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could be here with us. I hope you are doing well. Mel, good evening as well. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Question number 4 of 20. What occasion was being celebrated on the day that Susan Morphew went missing? The correct answer is B as in boy. Mother's Day. She went missing on Mother's Day. All right. Next question. Question number 5. What county district attorney's office screwed up the case so badly even the FBI called for those in charge to step down? Was it A, Monroe County DA, B, Houston County DA, C, Mecklenburg County DA, D, Chaffee County DA, or E, other? What county district attorney's office screwed up the case so badly even the FBI called for those in charge to step down? Mel, make sure you're on live chat, not top chat. All chat. It all depends on, I guess, what device you're looking at, you're on. Karen J, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could be here with us. Lemon Pie is going with E, Hazard County. Yeah, them pesky Duke boys. Michelle, good evening, Michelle, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could be here with us. Question number 5 of 20. What county DA's district attorney's office screwed up the case so badly the FBI even asked them to step down? Okay, Mel. Okay, the answer to question number 5 is D as in dog. The Chaffee County District Attorney's Office screwed up this case so badly, even the FBI asked them to step down, to step aside, drop the case, and start the hell over. They jumped the ball. I guess like Fonzarelli example is they jumped the sharks. They went too early before they had all of their information, and they charged him with it way too early. All right. Question number 6. What was Susan reportedly doing before she vanished without a trace? Was it A, washing her car, B, doing the dishes, C, riding her mountain bike, D, writing love letters to Barry, or E, other? What was Susan Morphew doing before she vanished without a trace? Good evening, Amber E. The Morgan is as well. Good evening. Roscoe Pico Train. What was Susan doing before she vanished without a trace? Jamie's LMB. Good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Thank you for being here with us tonight for trivia. Question number 6 of 20. What was Susan doing before she vanished? The correct answer is C, as in cat, riding her mountain bike. I personally do not believe that she was. That mountain bike was found in the bushes, propped up. It wasn't like it looked like there was an accident. It looked like somebody set it there. And then her bike helmet was found elsewhere. I don't believe for a second that she was riding her mountain bike and something, some kind of accident happened to her. I think that all that is just part of a cover story. that she would go, a new mountain bike rider and was doing that. Oh, thank you, Pippa Dot. It was so nice of you to do that. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. You ate guinea pig when you were in Ecuador? All right. Did you know during the investigation, the state learned that Susan Morphew wasn't the saint the media had made her out to be? She was actually on at least 2 different dating sites. She was having a physical affair with a married man. She had plans to run away with and said married man as well. Still, it doesn't mean she deserved to die. I am not trying to disparage the woman's image, but she was married to Barry still, and their marriage was almost over with, and she was having an affair with her former boyfriend from high school or college. I can't remember which one it was, but he was a married man and having an affair with another married woman himself, so that both of them don't have clean hands. But she was on 2 different dating sites. All right. Question number 7. What piece of physical evidence was found near the home that had DNA evidence that did not point to Barry Morphew? Was it A, the bike helmet, B, a candy wrapper, C, a baggie of meth, D, a abandoned 1984 Yugo, or E, other? What piece of physical evidence was found near the home that had DNA evidence that did not point to Barry Morphew? Oh, I agree, Sprinkled Donut. I, but as this goes on, we're going to learn a lot more about the scum that is the man named Barry Morphew. Question number 7 of 20. Autographed picture of RuPaul. Lexi, good evening, Lexi, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could be here with us. Chad Daybell books. Yeah, you got that. That would definitely not point to Barry, would it? Chad Daybell's books. All right, question number 7. The correct answer is A, the bike helmet. And somebody had put it said in the comments section, yes. Additionally, there was DNA evidence that was found in her car on the glove box door and latch in her car. That DNA actually came back to a man who was wanted for several rapes and sexual offenses. On the bike helmet, they found DNA that was never matched to anyone. But it was not from Barry. But there was DNA on the bike helmet and on the actual the car door glove box in her car. But they know who the DNA that was found in the car. Nobody has ever been able to come up with a positive answer of like why this man who was wanted at the time, for these other crimes, why was his DNA inside of her car? And no, he wouldn't be somebody that she would be even remotely interested in dating, or allowing to be in her car. How did that DNA evidence get there? But you have to think about the whole thing, like if it was an actual case that went to trial, all of these things, together, definitely a lot more points to it was Barry, and Barry did it. But there is enough circumstantial evidence out there that could cast doubt in the mind of a jury, when you look at the entire thing. Well, how did the DNA get on this bike helmet that wasn't her or wasn't Barry? How did this other DNA inside the car that doesn't belong to Barry get in this car? So, very interesting. All right, next one. Question number 8 of 20. What other evidence was found in the location where Susan reportedly went on her bike ride? Was it A tennis shoe, B, a rope, C, a jacket, D, her bike, or E, other? Question number 8 of 20. What other evidence was found in the location where Susan reportedly went on her bike rides? It was bought used? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a used car, but I mean, you would think that that DNA evidence wouldn't necessarily have been there. I mean, who I think Susan was a pretty clean individual. I'm pretty sure she probably had her car detailed, especially living in the area with just from dust and stuff. So, but I think that the DNA evidence itself had to be newer, fresher for them to be able to find that. But again, in a court of law, they could a defense attorney would definitely bring that up and cast doubt and that aspect of the trial if it ever got that far, if it ever does. Lemon pie. A hair belonging to Joy Barr. Now the view isn't there. D, but there was also a jacket, not hers, allegedly. Purple's going with D. Just Jules, D as well. Question number 8 of 20. What other evidence was found in the location where Susan reportedly went on her bike rides? The correct answer is C, as in cat, a jacket. A jacket was found about 100 yards from where the bike was found. And it did not belong to Susan or to Barry. It was too small to have fit Barry, and it was too small to have fit Suzanne. Plus, she's not much of a like a windbreaker. She was more of a stylish, type of like workout clothing. She wouldn't have worn this type of jacket. But a jacket. He threw her phone, etc. I think. Hmm. Question number 9. What was unusual about Susan's bike being found where it was? Was it A, it was next to a meth house? B, near a mountain lion den? C, no damage or scratches? D, no entry path to it from the road? Or E, other? Sprinkle Donut, are you talking about what the YouTube take for like super chats? Um, it's close. They take 31.25%. It's just over 30%. But that's for doing the processing. Still, every one is appreciated though. Gemma, good evening, Gemma. Welcome to tonight's trivia. was a unicycle. Question number 9. What unusual about Susan's bike being found where it was? The correct answer to question number 9 is D as in dog. Where the bike was found, it clearly somebody had taken it and thrown it in there, or set it up in the bushes where it was. Again, it was upright. There was, and it was sitting up against the rock and and other bushes in there. And so it didn't look like somebody had an accident and the bike ended up in there, but it was sitting upright in there. But there was no path, like where the bike had maybe gone in on, in that direction. So no entry path to it from the road. Question. No, did you know? Did you forget that during the investigation, DNA was found on the glove box of Susan's car that belonged to a violent sexual predator? We already talked about this, but anyways, who has no connection to either Barry or Susan. The state was never able to determine how his DNA got there, as this man was wanted. This wanted man was believed to be 120 miles away when Susan vanished. But that DNA again from the glove box was definitely linked to this man. Question number 10. How many days after Susan vanished without a trace did it take before listing the disappearance as suspicious? How many days after she disappeared did it take before they listed her disappearance as suspicious? Was it A, week, B, 7 days, C, 2 days, D, 5 days, or E, other? Question number 10 of 20. How many days? It is, Mel. It is the same number, isn't it? Karen J is going with C. Purple, Pippa Dot, and Sal are all going with B. Lemon Pie still listed. Still listed as just fine. PayPal takes 2.99%. And yes, cement shoes, A and B are the same number. You are correct. How many days after Susan vanished without a trace did it take before listing the disappearance as suspicious? The correct answer is C, as in cat. Law enforcement started off as it was a disappearance and nobody knew what happened, in the situation. It wasn't until 2 days after she vanished that Barry's story didn't make sense and they started to question it. And they officially put her down as suspicious in nature. And it stayed that way until her remains were found. And when her remains were found, then it was listed and changed to homicide. But it was listed as suspicious in nature. All right, if you're new here, be surprised, but this is something we do every single week. After the first 10 questions, we take a 6-minute break. use the bathroom, use the facilities, make yourself a sandwich. Do what you need to do. You do you for the next 6 minutes. And then we'll be back with corrections and everything else and more trivia. 6 minute break. I'm sucking tonight on the trivia. Well, we still got 10 more questions left to Finn. Still got more. You never know. Plus, don't forget, after trivia, I have the spotlight that I do where I show you cases for people that are missing and endangered across America, where I'm working with the Charlie Project, Name Us, the FBI, and state and local authorities, and the Center for Missing and Exploited Children to cast a spotlight on people who are really missing in America. Again, that is after trivia tonight and every night. Excuse me. Well, thank you, Finn. There are people that are missing, and somebody out there knows something, and it could be the tiniest little piece of information that gets called in as a tip. Maybe somebody saw them, or get into a car, or they saw them someplace else, or it could be something tiny. And I would just hope that in case someone, one of my loved ones or friends disappeared, that somebody would take the time to call in the tip. And every one of the cases has a tip line where you can remain anonymous if you know anything. Okay, I have to get baggy for donuts too. Ooh, Gemma has been a channel member for 21 months. Thank you very much, Gemma, for being a channel member. I have a few presents to wrap, and I'm done. Thank goodness my back is killing me. I haven't even started wrapping gifts, Kitty Q. I haven't even started. I, everything's just stacked up in my closet right now, and in our master bedroom. But I haven't wrapped anything yet. Amazes me how many people disappear or go missing without a trace. The Finn in America in any given year, on average, 1 million people in America go missing every single year on average. Of that 1 million people who go missing, 90% are found within a short period of time after they've disappeared, either at their own hands, they either found alive, they moved away someplace, or foul play came to them. But 90% are found, and the cases are closed within a couple of months afterwards. But that still leaves over 10,000, well, 100,000, right? Yeah, 10% of a million, it'd be 100,000. With all of the packing, it was easier to send gift cards. According to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there are over 1,600 active cases right now in America where a non-custodial parent is the main suspect in the disappearance of a child under the age of 12. 1,600 active cases. Now, every case is, is still considered active, but there other ones are considered more cold cases of disappearances. But 1,600 children from across the United States under the age of 12. We have 1 minute left of break, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute left. Wrapping Christmas presents are a sensory hell for you? Try gift bags. That's what my son did. My son, he can't stand the sound of crinkling wrapping paper. It is a definite a sensory overload for him. So we just put them in, have him put his gifts that he wanted to get in gift bags. Well, thank you, Sal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our break. Corrections and stuff. Corrections and stuff. This is an actual email that I received, word for word, uncorrected. It's supposed to read, correct your mistake. There were no text messages sent from her cell phone before the 411 call. Did you read these things or just make this shit up? That was an actual, well, communication from another individual. And that is in regards to Susan. And did she, and she did contact, her ex-husband beforehand. So I suggest reading a copy of the court record to the lady who sent this to me, and I'm not going to use her name because of how deplorable of the actual comment is, with all the mistakes and stuff. I am aware between 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, December 12th, 2024. It appeared that I was live streaming on Twitter, i.e. X, and it was a glitch in their system. If you did see it and click on the link, it was just a gray screen. This isn't the first time this has happened to me or to other streamers, nor do we think it'll be the last time. For some reason on Twitter X, they were refreshing the system on that day, is what we've all determined at this point, and it made it look like everybody who streams to the platform was live. And even if the stream had happened a month prior and they haven't done anything between then, it made it look like everybody was instantly live on that day. But again, it was not my fault. It wasn't any of the other streamers, because I know a lot of people were in the comment sections of different videos on those streams. Hey, all I got is a gray screen here. All right, now we're back to our trivia. Question number 11 is now on your screen. What type of video did Barry Morphew release shortly after Susan vanished? Was it A, hunting video, B, a plea for her safe return, C, a video of dead chipmunks, D, a video of a mountain lion, or E, other? Question number 11 of 20. I'll put myself back in my little window here. Hello. Hello, people. Question number 11 of 20. What type of video did Barry Morphew release shortly after Susan vanished? All right. The answer to question number 11 is B as in boy, a plea for her safe return. A video that was released by Barry pleading for her to be returned safely. Question number 12. How much of a reward did Barry Morphew himself put up for information in this case of his missing wife? Was it A, $100,000, B, $10,000, C, $1,000, D, $10, or E, other? How much of a reward did Barry Morphew himself put up? Cat playing a piano video. Question number 12 of 20. You call it the Oh Suzanne video? Just expired hot dog coupons. Question number 12 of 20. How much of a reward did Barry Morphew put up? The correct answer is A as in apple. He put up $100,000 reward offer, and it eventually went to $200,000 with another party saying that they would put up $100,000 as well. But Barry was willing to put up $100,000 for information for her return. Obviously, no one was going to collect that reward because Barry knows exactly what happened to Suzanne. Question number 13. We all have to work. Some are race car drivers, others are brain surgeons. What was Barry Morphew's occupation? Was it A, scientist, B, a line cook, C, a landscaper contractor, or D, a mountain lion tamer, or E, other? We all have to work. Some are race car drivers, some are brain surgeons. What was Barry Morphew's occupation? You'd never have to pay. Why stop at 100,000? Why not a million? How about 500,000, 200,000? But yeah, true. You knew no one was ever going to collect it. Hawk 2, coin broker. She does have a cryptocurrency that she's been pushing. The Hawk 2 girl, lady. I saw the video on CoffeeZilla about her crypto, or maybe it was on his second channel, the Voidzilla. It might have been on Voidzilla. You go taxi driver only picking up meth head mountain lions. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Juicy Jules. Question number 13 of 20. What was Barry's occupation? The correct answer is C, as in cat. He was a landscape contractor. Did you know is next. Barry Morphew is a scumbag, and we can all agree on that. He is damn lucky they never prosecuted him for poaching. Don't forget, Barry admitted to using tranquilizer darts on deer and then cutting off their racks. That's their antlers. That's poaching, you scumbag. If convicted of that charge, if they would have went after him, which they should have, he could have faced up to 5 years in prison for that. Yet, for some reason, even with the evidence in his garage, they never pursued the poaching against him. He brought the law enforcement into the garage and showed them piles of antlers that he had collected. He used the tranquilizer darts to trank the deer, and then once he tranquilized the deer, he would just get out a saw and cut off their racks and keep them. He had a lot of them sitting on top of the deep freeze and on the shelf in the garage. So it wasn't something he did just once or twice. He did it a lot. But they never prosecuted him or went after him for this charge. Why? Why not prosecute him for the poaching? Doesn't make any sense to me at all why they never pursued it. The evidence is right there. He admitted to it. He's on, in the video that the chest cam, from the officers who were there looking at his house and his garage the day that he reported her missing after he got back. All right. Bonus. Did you know from the week that Susan Morphew vanished without a trace, her identity was used 2 times according to the FBI. Once in Denver, Colorado, and once in Pasadena, California. Both times, the women using her name were arrested, but never for identity theft. Once her name popped up in the news, there were people who were using her name. They didn't have her social security number or any kind of driver's license or anything like that. They used them illegally. How did they use them? One lady in Pasadena, that one, she checked into a motel using her actual name, Susan's complete name. And that was the name that she checked into the motel. Apparently, it's not a very high end motel, but she did use her name. The other case out of Denver, Colorado, was somebody who used it because she's a homeless woman and she wanted to receive services without giving her real identity. Excuse me. Question number 14. Where did boring Barry Morphew claim he was when Susan vanished without a trace? Was it A, Denver, Colorado, B, Broomfield, Colorado, C, Bend, Oregon, D, Burbank, Washington State, or E, other? Where did boring Barry Morphew claim he was when Susan vanished? Uh, Cement, didn't he actually get in trouble for not only casting his own ballot, but he signed her name and basically committed voter fraud by mailing in hers as well. I believe that's what he got in trouble for. Yes. Question number 14 of 20. Where did Barry say he was at when Suzanne disappeared? He claimed he was attending a firefighters meeting in Denver. Juicy Jewel, dork he is. The lemon pot. He was at a male strip club. Oh yeah. We're just gonna say that lemon pie was correct in that one. You only got in trouble for hers? Yeah. Well, I mean, it is voter fraud. You can't fill out somebody else's ballot and turn it in. Male mountain lion strip club. Where did Barry Morphew claim he was when Susan vanished? The correct answer to question number 14 is B as in boy, in Broomfield, Colorado. Broomfield, Colorado. Question number 15. What piece of evidence was found in the dryer lint screen that linked Barry to the disappearance of Suzanne? Was it A mountain lion hair, B, a tranquilizer dart cap, C, a photo of her body in the woods, D, blood, or E, other? What piece of evidence was found in the dryer lint screen that linked Barry to the disappearance of Suzanne? One of P. Diddy's parties. His freak, what do they call them? Freak shows or freakouts? Freakouts, that's what it is. P. Diddy's parties were called freakouts. Doing a wall job that never happened. Well, he said he was there in the Broomfield area because the work that had been done previously, I guess they had some kind of issue with. They didn't like the way it was done or something. He went to go check on it. I don't believe anything that Barry has to say. None of it really makes any sense at all to me. Freak offs, freak outs, freak offs. Yeah, that's probably it. Freak offs. Just picking up grandma's diet in Denver airport. Question number 15 of 20. What piece of evidence was found in the dryer lint screen that linked Barry to the disappearance of Suzanne? The correct answer is B. B as in boy, the tranquilizer dart cap. According to Barry, yeah. Well, supposedly. The entire thing about him, in the motel there, he not only does he throw stuff away there, then he goes to what, 5 other areas and throws things away. And then he has one of his employees stay in the room that they're at the hotel. Why? The whole thing, none of it makes a whole lot of sense why he was even there. It looks more like he was setting up an alibi. Freak offs with baby oil, right? Question number 16. And what year did the police make the arrest of Barry Morphew, even though uh, even the arresting officers didn't think they had enough evidence? Was it A in 2022, B 2019, C 2021, D 2025, or E other? What year did the police make the arrest of Barry Morphew, even though the arresting officers didn't think they had enough evidence? That no work could be done on Sundays, right? I really do. I think the entire reason for him being in Broomfield in the first place, I think it was all just an alibi. And why would he go to all these places to throw things away on security cameras, no less? He knew he was going to be on security cameras. Set up an alibi. I think he, it was the day before, when he took care of her, and not on Mother's Day itself. But that sets up an alibi. Then he calls, and the neighbor, while he's in Broomfield, got an alibi set up. Hey, I can't get a hold of my wife. Can you go check on her? Oh, she's not there. Call 911. I mean, that's just me. That's my take of the entire thing and how it worked. But obviously I don't have any facts to prove that though. Question number 16 of 20. What year was Barry Morphew arrested? The correct answer is C, as in cat, in 2021. 2021, he was arrested and charged with the murder of Suzanne. 2021. Did you know is next. The case and all the evidence used to arrest and charge Barry Morphew with the murder was almost all circumstantial and hearsay evidence. With all of the mistakes that DA and law enforcement made, even the Department of Justice believes the chances of getting a conviction now, even with Susan's remains, would be less than 10% without a complete confession to the crime. Now, the evidence that they did introduce, for the arrest can be used again if they are ever to arrest him again and charge him. But any first year law student would say, okay, all of this evidence, I can now bring it forth that it was thrown out, the case was thrown out before. Why do they think that they have this? Casting even more doubt in the mind of a jury. Because the jury would have to hear, look, this evidence was suppressed the first time around. This evidence was there the first time around, and now they want you to believe that it's actual, proof of his guilt. But they believe if they were to charge him now with it, unless they get a complete confession or something else drastic comes up, new evidence, that it would be less than around a 10% chance, of ever getting a conviction. So with that in mind, they can't get him on that. Why not go after the poaching? Again, I posed the question. What he did is illegal. They know it, and they can put him in jail. I mean, so he could serve up to 5 years in prison for his, for the offense of stealing the antlers from all those deer. So, question number 17 of 20. Free Barry. What happened in April of 2022 in the case of murder against Barry Morphew? Was it A, all charges were dismissed? B, they added new charges? C, charges were amended? D, Pauly Shore was arrested? Or E, other? Question number 17 of 20. What happened in April of 2022 in the case of murder against Barry Morphew? He had means, motive, and opportunity. Yes, he did. But in our legal system, though, just because you have means, motive, and opportunity to do the crime, doesn't mean that he necessarily did it himself. If he didn't do it himself and he didn't dispose of her remains, I think he paid someone else. Maybe he got one of his former employees to do it, or to help him clean up the entire situation. Maybe he really did snap because he found out that she was having an affair, and that was just the last straw. I don't know. If he practically tortured animals, he probably did a lot more. Yeah, I still don't buy the hunting chipmunks in his backyard. If he had chipmunks, there's other ways of getting rid of chipmunks besides taking a pellet gun or something out there to hunt them in your yard. Perry Mason got them off. Question number 17 of 20. The correct answer is A as in apple. All charges were dismissed without prejudice. Again, which means that if they want in the future and they come up with the evidence and everything else, they can file the charges again in the future. Again, according to the Department of Justice, they don't think that there's a chance, much of a chance, but 10%, less than 10%, that they could ever get a conviction unless they come up with something, some kind of smoking gun in the entire case. All right. Question number 18. What type of evidence makes up over 90% of the case against Barry Morphew in the death of Suzanne? See how close you've been paying attention. Was it A, circumstantial evidence, B, hearsay evidence, C, wishes and poor dreams, D, physical evidence, or E, other? Question number 18 of 20. What type of evidence makes up over 90% of the case against Barry Morphew? Question number 18 of 20. Excuse me. 11.5. Evidence compiled by The View. Hoping karma gets him. Karma is a bitch and it comes around, goes around. Dharma and karma, both of them. What type of evidence makes up over 90% of the case? The answer is A. A is in apple, circumstantial evidence. It makes up over 90% of the case of the evidence that was presented in the case before they dismissed the charges against Barry. Over 90%. All right. Question number 19. According to the FBI, with so much tainted evidence in this case, what is the likelihood of getting a guilty verdict without a confession? Was it A, 50%, B, 90%, C, 20%, or D, 5%, or E, other? Now, we know what the Department of Justice said. What did the FBI have to say about the chances of getting a conviction without a confession? What did the FBI have to say? Question number 19 of 20. So the Department of Justice says that it's less than 10% chance of getting a conviction. The FBI, who were on the ground, have boots on the ground, as they say, said that the chance of actually getting a conviction with all of the evidence that was already in the case that was, tainted, and then again, like I explained and laid out, that any defense attorney would say all of this, evidence that was here before, why should they believe this now, a jury? They believe that the chances of getting a conviction are D, as in dog, a 5% chance of getting a conviction unless they get a confession to the actual crime. And that is after they found Susan Morphew's remains, a 5% chance. So if there's ever going to be a conviction in this case, more evidence is definitely needed. And I'm pretty damn sure that they're still working on it to this day. I don't think anybody's just given up on the case altogether. Question, Susan's lover was excluded as a suspect in her murder. Barry was charged and arrested, and all charges were dropped. The sexual predator has never been questioned. The other men who had access to the house were questioned and excluded, mainly people who worked in and around the home on the outside. And no one questioned any of Barry's former employees, people who worked for him. No one's ever questioned them. Why? They all knew where Barry lived. They had access, to the area, and when they were showing up looking for Barry, Susan might have opened the door and let them in. Maybe. It's a possibility. Question number 20 of 20. What new evidence came forward in 2023 that people think is damaging to Barry, but actually helps his case of innocence? Was it A, a new eyewitness came forward? Was it B, no new social media post? C, Susan's remains? D, Chad Daybell confession? Or E, other? Her body tranquilizer and her bones tranquilized dart in the dryer. What more do you need? I mean, that's pretty damaging. You're right, the Finn. That is. Well, that's not the system of law that we have, though. I mean, we all think out here that he's guilty, of it. Why don't they just prosecute him for it? Unlike the first time around, they don't want to jump up, early and charge him again just to watch the whole thing fall apart again. But at least there's no double jeopardy in the case. What new evidence came forward in 2023 that people think is damaging to Barry, but actually helps his case of innocence? Lemon pie, Whoopi Goldberg's rant. Damaging, but helps his case of innocence. I can't process this. Question 20 of 20. The correct answer is C, as in cat. Her remains being found in 2023 actually helps his innocence, the proving of his innocence, because again, the cell phone and the truck data does not place him within 60 miles of where her remains were found. because everyone was like assuming, okay, if they find her off of this logging road, this gravel road, that's damaging towards him, because there's the opportunity, there's the bike, and he could have dumped her there at any time, but her remains being found, in the Moffat area, actually helps him, because again, they wanted us to believe that the DNA, the truck data from the GPS and the GPS from his phone showed what Barry was doing and where he was. You can't have it both ways. You can't say the truck was here and the truck did this, and this is all the data from the truck, and this is where his cell phone was moving around randomly all over in his backyard, and then say, well, at the same time, he he wasn't there, but he could have done something else or gotten somebody else to do it. It doesn't help. You can't have it both ways. Either it proves he did it or he didn't. It's not like, hey, well, this or that. All the sources from tonight's trivia for all of the questions that you've seen tonight, I used these sources. And the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, I put a link to their actual investigation, the CBI there. If you have the ability to click on a link now or later, you can click on that and read it. So how did you do on tonight's trivia? This is completely optional. Some people like to give themselves a letter grade and they keep a score of like how many they got right and how many they got wrong. Again, it's completely optional. We're only here for fun and entertainment, value and a little bit of education. Learn something new. Did you get 19 to 20 for an A? I hope he's arrested soon. So do I. I hope that we get some kind of closure in the entire case. Again, it's completely optional if you want to do that. Give yourself a letter grade. Don't leave yet. We still have the missing and endangered cases next. Again, you can read through this if you wish, but I am working with the Charlie Project, Name Us, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, along with the FBI, to bring awareness to these cases that you're about to see and learn about. I am not, and I repeat, not paid for doing this. I am doing this to help bring a spotlight to these cases because we need closure for these families of these missing. First case tonight is William Anthony Head. Has been missing since 11/18 of 2021. He was last seen positively in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area. He is age 39 today, but he was 29 when he disappeared. So obviously that's 10 years old, so it's a little bit more than that now. The date of age is off a little bit. Anyways, he is 6 foot tall exactly, black hair with green eyes. He has a scar on his head, right side, and a star on his left hand and a T on the other. And I will show you pictures of those tattoos next. But again, look at the picture of William Anthony Head. These are additional pictures of William Anthony Head. Is a Native American who often prefers to live off the grid, not homeless. He prefers to live off of the grid, outside of society. A lot of times he would make, or live in like a wooded area instead of being in a concrete jungle. That's what he preferred. But he vanished when he was most likely going to go see his sister, who lives in the Nashville, Tennessee area. So again, somewhere between New Mexico and Nashville is the area that he may have been traveling. A lot of times, William Anthony Head preferred to travel by Greyhound bus from place to place. The tip line number that is there on your screen, you can remain anonymous if you've seen or you know anything about William Anthony Head and his actual disappearance. Next is Tracy Lynn Tackwell, last seen in Princeton, Kentucky on December 4th of 2014. She is age 52 now and 42 when she vanished. She is 5 foot 10 inches tall, and her weight is between 130 and 140 pounds. Blonde hair, blue eyes, tattoo of an L on her breast and on her ankle, left side top breast is where she has the tattoo. Not much is known about Tracy Lynn Tackwell. She preferred to keep to herself and had no known family in the area where she vanished from. Tracy, if alive, is most certainly taking medication for her bipolar disorder. Again, the tip not line that is on the screen, you can remain anonymous. You do not have to give up your personal information to leave a tip. Today's headline story doesn't have to mean forgotten tomorrow. These two monsters, who killed these two children, these are the Wells brothers. Need to be locked up. We do, and they are. They've been convicted of it, but we still don't know where the children are, where the remains are, and they're not talking. They won't tell authorities what they did with them. Again, don't tell me just because they're here today, and tomorrow they're not in the news, that they should be forgotten. Take a second look at this case. This is one that I presented some time ago, but this is Deborah Thomas, age 69 years of age as of the turn of the calendar of 2024. She will be 70 soon. She has been missing since 9/18 of 2015 from Vallejo, California. Take a look at this updated photo. Someone knows what happened in this case. Again, of Deborah Thomas, age 69, soon to be 70 after the turn of the calendar year. Somebody knows what happened to her and what happened in this case. Yes, it is true. We definitely need to know where the boys' remains are. It's sad, and like so many cases out there, people, crime stories and stuff like that people report on here in YouTube, in other venues as well. But the case is here today and it's gone tomorrow. As long as it's not making headline news anymore, people just forget about it. Move on to the next sensationalized case. We need closure, and the family and friends of the two boys need closure. They need to know they have something, to know what happened, where they are. Good night, Gianna Marie, and thank you again for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Again, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a big old thumbs down and tell me in the comment section why, what I can do to make it better. I try to, keep these cases as topical as I can. We don't always have to do serial killers like Barry Morphew. We don't think is a serial killer. We think he's a killer, but he's not a serial killer. So we try to mix in different ones. Jamie Kowski. I wrote it down, Gianna Marie, and thank you for suggesting that. I'm not familiar with that case at all. And Merry Christmas to you as well, Gianna Marie. Yep. But at least they're in prison for what they did. Now we need to wrap the case up by getting the remains back to the family. Merry Christmas to you as well, Lemon Pie. And just remember, everyone, people stress way too much over the holidays. Please relax. The Christmas is not about, how many gifts you bought for somebody. Remember, it's more about spending time with your family and friends, and people who mean something to you. If you don't have anybody, to spend the holiday with, if you have a cat or a dog, maybe make a special, meal for the two of you or three of you or 800 cats or whatever you have. Just remember, it's not about what the media and everybody out there is telling you. It's about consumption of, as much as you can buy. It's not about that. Alex Cox all by himself. Thank you, Cement Shoes, for the suggestion. Well, thank you, the Finn. Christmas gift waiting for you on your PayPal. Well, thank you for all your entertainment. Well, thank you, Kali Lisa. Thank you for the gift, and thank you very much for being here with us. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you as well, Mel. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or just happy holiday, friends. I care about you all. Oh, thank you, Kitty Q. Tomorrow, I'm making this. This is Kitty Q's chocolate chunk pecan pie. I got everything on this list to make that tomorrow. I'm making it tomorrow again because I have to make 9 pumpkin pies on top of this. My mother-in-law is making cherry and apple. So, but this sounds really good. So, cross my fingers, and thank you for sharing that with me, Kitty Q. Will, can you please suggest we do Christopher Porco? Porco? Christopher Porco. Thank you, Pippadot, for the suggestion. I will definitely look into it. Merry Christmas to you as well, Cement Shoes. A pie fest. Well, I will have 27 people here for Christmas dinner on Wednesday. 27. We have 3 the others that are going to be stopping by to get meals to go because they have to work. But I will have 27. For Thanksgiving, we always did turkeys and ham, but for Christmas it's just ham. We are doing hams. So and it's not one ham, it's actually 4 hams. We have 2 spiral Virginia smoked hams, and then the other ones are they're 2 spiral cut, but they're just going to be cooked with pineapple and cherry. I actually discourage people from giving me gifts, and I give you out. Hmm. Rykar, Merry Christmas to you, Rykart. Is Rykart anywhere near home? Or will Rykart be anywhere near home for Christmas? Where is home? Where you are at any given day. That's an interesting question in itself. I don't know if you actually have a home base or not. I'm celebrating with my English bulldog, French bulldog, and 2 cats. There you go. That sounds like a great day. I'm going to be celebrating with my cats on top of the people. So I have 5 cats right now, but uh, my sister will most likely be bringing her Saint Bernard, and I don't know if she's going to be bringing the other one because last time it was here, it didn't get along with all the people. But yeah, happy to be here. Just got in. Oh, we've already finished up the trivia, but you can watch and rewind. Yes, you'll be home for Christmas in New Mexico. All right. Well, I'm glad you're going to be able to do that, right, Cart? Make it home for Christmas. I do let myself eat pecan pie there with you too. Hmm. But the other things that I'm making for dinner, so there's the ham, the dressing or stuffing or whatever it's basically the same thing. Depends upon who you are. Some people make them a little bit differently, but so ham, dressing, and then I'm making mashed potatoes from Yukon Gold potatoes. Then there is mac and cheese that is like a baked mac and cheese dish that I make that's got like 6 cheeses in it. It's really good, but second on the lips, lifetime on the hips. And let's see, then there's the relish trays, cracker trays, and then we always put out like a snack trays in the middle of the tables for people to snack on. It's got like olives and other things like that that are on toothpicks, so people can pick them up and they can eat them, snack on them until dinner's ready. Sprinkled donut. Merry Christmas, everyone, and have a wonderful evening, week, and Christmas. You as well, Sprinkled Donut. Has been a while since I've been in for a live. Hoping you're all good this eve. I am. I hope you are as well. And I hope you're able to have a safe and happy holiday. No, they don't. They get along wonderfully. Thank God there's a great company since my husband passed away unexpectedly. Oh, I'm truly sorry. My heart goes out to anyone who's missing the loved ones at this time of year. It's got to be hard. What's my address, Callie Lisa? I have a P.O. box that you can, if you have a pen, and I'll tell you the P.O. box. I'll put it in the comment section. How about that? Oh, I got to think about that for a second. Hold on 1 second. I changed PO boxes. I went to a larger size. I got to make sure I get the address right. Ooh. Well, all right. If you go to my page on YouTube, my PO box is listed on the page of with a so imagine I don't know how to do this. These are the things that you think that I would know how to do. If you go to my page, where the community is, you go to the top, you're going to see 3 dots next to my channel name. You click on that, and that will bring up a drop down menu of links to my PayPal, to become a channel member, and everything else. But that you scroll down a little bit more, and my PO box is listed there. I got 1 second. Bear with me while I do this, because I don't have it memorized. The reason why I got the other box is because I needed a bigger PO box, but also they changed the zip code on me for in town, because we live outside of the actual zip area. Oh, I don't want that. Come back here. I want that, and then I click here. And okay, here is my PO box address. Mini Will lives in a PO box, right? Yeah, actually, you could put a because I don't have a letter size box. I used to, and now it's an actual parcel box, so I can get packages there, and I can get regular mail there as well. But that is my actual PO box. I don't know why it posted it twice on here. But fan mail, Nobel Media, care of 411 Now, PO Box 2336, Richland, Washington 99352. Nobel Media is my actual business name. My business license is underneath Nobel Media. Well, when you go to your page, you just hit more and it shows it. Yeah, that's what I did, Kitty Q. And I just copy and pasted it. I knew where it was on there, but the address used to be 2334. Now it's 6, but they also changed the zip code to the damn place. They call it newer and better. But that is the actual address, my PO box. That's where I receive my mail. Well, we did successfully have trivia night, so that's a plus. Still don't know what the heck we did to fix it. I wish I knew. In case it ever pops its ugly head up again, we're able to fix it. But we still have no idea what we did that actually worked. I have one more present to wrap, and I'm procrastinating. I haven't done any. Zero. Everything's still sitting in the store bags and stuff like that are in the closet. I got to get on it. Obviously, I'm running out of time, and tomorrow I'm going to be baking all day, and then Tuesday, I'm going to sit down and go through each and every item on the dinner menu to make sure that I have everything. because I'm certainly not going, to the grocery store on Christmas Day. No, that's true, Kitty Q. Don't have a clue. We don't have a clue at all. Every company that we reached out to, Restream, which is my streaming software, to YouTube, to Google, everybody we reached out to, they all said it's a you problem, not an us problem. And we're like, that's really helpful. And well, I called them the no help support centers. YouTube was the live help. I think it's actually I don't even think it's real people. I think it's AI. I don't even think that the YouTube is their thing is like real people. I think it's all made up. Suzanne Simpson. Hope the best for you and all the community. Oh, thank you, Kitty Q. I hope you all have a terrific holiday. I meant to say they found Suzanne's remains, but Barry still hasn't been arrested. Yeah, well, after they dropped the charges against him and they released him, I mean, the whole thing is pretty much in limbo at this point. Will they ever convict him of it? I don't know. That's the honest truth. Regardless of what the FBI and the Department of Justice has to say about it, I've seen some videos from former district attorneys, prosecuting attorneys who have looked into it. Some of them believe there's a chance that it could happen. It could actually get a conviction in it. But a lot of people don't think that there ever is going to be, they're going to charge him with it again. That they had their bite at the apple and it's now been, passed. I used to rent a storage unit and some guy used to live there at one of the storage units. They should allow homeless people to live in storage warehouses. That would probably end the homelessness in the U.S. Hmm. I watched the Reichart. I watched I it was like a news report from Los Angeles, California, and it was about they were looking at how did Utah, Salt Lake City, how did they solve and tackle their homeless problems, and would that work in Los Angeles? Because you can use the same ideas. Hey, look, it's working here. Can we get it to work here? For these tiny homes that they take a parking lot that's not being used anymore for maybe the business or whatever closed down. They can move in. 25 tiny homes. Would that work in Los Angeles like it worked in Salt Lake City? And they found out the cost to do just one little tiny home was almost $1 million+ to do it. Once you get through the permitting, the sanitation, the air quality, and everything else you'd have to do, plus the building of this tiny home, was like $1 million. That's insane. Why would you need to make it that big? I mean, that costly. How about just like a shed? Go to Home Depot and buy 25 sheds and put them up there. You can spray insulate them the same day you put them up. And now they're actually warm, and it's some places where they're not homeless and not out on the street. They have a roof over their heads. Thank you, Will. We really enjoy your channel and the chat. And a great group of people. Wishing everyone a great Christmas and everyone stay safe over the holidays. You as well, the Finn. You as well. Merry Christmas to your puppies. and your cats as well. Meow. Woof, woof. Yeah. Well, it's ridiculous. It is. The bureaucratic, red tape involved. I mean, they don't want to solve the problem. They want the problem to consistently go on forever. The soft white underbelly. He did some videos about the homeless situation in the Los Angeles area and in San Francisco, and how many different state agencies have got their fingers in the pie, if you say, when it's trying to solve the homeless population, and they don't want to really tackle the problem because then all these agencies, there's no reason for them to be around. But something needs to change, that's for sure. It's not an issue that we can't solve. We just choose not to. We choose to ignore it. We don't see it and we move them off and they're out of sight, out of mind. I mean, it's like putting them up in hotels. I mean, that's not solving the problem. That's a temporary band-aid on the entire situation. Jamie said you have a wonderful Christmas as well. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm going to wrap up tonight's stream. Thank you very much to everyone who is here, tonight for trivia. And I will see you, hopefully, cross the fingers, knock on wood, that everything still works and we'll able to do this again next weekend. Really like Mark Leata, Soft White Underbelly. He does great work. He does. He does. I've been a subscriber and a supporter of Mark's content for an awfully long time, like close to 5 years, somewhere in there. So he does a really good job, and it's nice that some people are finally recognizing him for what he does, because he's a photographer by nature. He is not a journalist, but he was trying to do the videos that he has on Soft White Underbelly, the story behind the picture, if you will. But anyways, thank you again, everyone, and happy holidays to everyone. If you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever you do, thank you again for being here, and you have a terrific holiday and stay safe out there. And remember, don't get behind the wheel of a car if you've consumed anything that is mind altering. All right? We'll see you next time. Bye.